DeepSeek R1. If you ever heard about it, you know it's a cutting-edge LLM that's making waves with its powerful capabilities.
DeepSeek shaking up global tech.
NVIDIA losing nearly $600 billion in market cap today alone.
DeepSeek R1 model, its performance is on par with ChatGPT's O1 reasoning model. It's free and open source, so anybody can download them and use them in their local machine. But here's the kicker. Most people are still running these models in the cloud, which can be slow, costly, and limiting. So what if you could run DeepSeek R1 locally on your own machine with full control and you don't have to worry about privacy issues? Well, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that using Ollama and Anything LLM. Let's get started. So first, we're going to go to ollama.com, and this is its homepage. And don't worry, I'll have the website link down in the description below so you can easily access it. And when you're here, click on download. And depending on which computer you're using, you might choose Mac OS, Linux, or Windows. And I'm using Mac OS, so I'm going to click on this one and click on download for Mac OS. I have already downloaded it, but you can easily follow the on-screen instructions to download Ollama. And once you have downloaded it, you can just double-click the icon, and actually nothing will happen, and we'll need to use the terminal to download the large language models you wanted to use offline. But before that happens, let's go to the Models tab here. Now you can see a list of large language models being listed here. Now you can see DeepSeek R1 is being listed as the number 1. It's currently the most popular one, followed by Llama 3.3, and DeepSeek R1 has already got 10.4 million polls here, which is pretty impressive. And let's click on this to learn more about the different options. You can see all the way from the 1.5 billion parameters to 671 billion parameters. And this one has the size of 404 gigabytes, which is really hard for any personal computer to run it. Actually, today I am only using a Mac Air computer with an M1 chip, which is pretty limited. So I'm going to go with the default choice 7B. And it's really important that we can just copy this command and then use this one in the terminal. Remember, if you have a more powerful computer, you can totally choose the 14B and 32B. I've seen people download them and with a pretty large RAM, they can run it pretty smoothly. So it's your choice. I already opened my terminal window. This Ollama doesn't have an interface here. What it does is operating behind the scenes, so it can help us manage the different large language models we wanted to download and use locally. So here I have the DeepSeek R1 page on Ollama here. I plan to download the DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameters model, which is the default model. So I'm just going to be here and then Ollama run DeepSeek R1. I don't need to add 7B here because default one is the 7B model. If it's the first time you're downloading the DeepSeek R1 model, and when you run this command, it will first download the model and it's going to take some time. So after that, just hit enter or return. And in my case, I have already downloaded this model, so I can just start using it. So for example, I could ask, could you tell me a joke? And it's going to take a little bit of time. Remember that I'm using a 8 GB RAM Mac Air computer. Okay, cool. Sure, use a lighthearted joke for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts. Okay, I think I've seen the joke before, so it's not the most brilliant one, but it's fine. So it's not super convenient and user-friendly to interact with the large language model using a terminal. So next up, we're going to use a tool called AnythingLLM. So if we go to Google and search AnythingLLM, and we click on this one, and this is AnythingLLM.com, and this is the tool that can give us a pretty neat chat interface, just like ChatGPT. And we wanted to click on download for desktop. Again, depending on the operating system you're using, macOS, Windows, or Linux, choose the one the most fitting for you and download it. So for me, I have Mac OS, and an Apple Silicon chip. So I'll click on this one since I already downloaded it. I'm not going to re-download it. Once again, it's really straightforward. Just follow the on-screen instructions and downloaded it. And then double click on it to open it. And the first thing you want to do is create a new workspace. You can click here to start a new workspace. And down under here, I already set up a workspace called test. If you want to start a new one, you can click on this one and give it a name. And after you have created workspace, it's important to go to the gear icon here, then go to chat settings. Now under workspace LLM provider, here we have to select Ollama. It will automatically recognize the different LLMs, right? So what you have to do is just find Ollama and click on it. And under it, workspace chat model, let's say, so I'm going to use DeepSeek R1 latest, which is the default model I am using. And we go back to the workspace, click on the back button right here. Now we're going back to the chat interface. So this should look familiar to you. It's just like ChatGPT or DeepSeek, where you type the message and you try to get an answer from the large language models. And in this case, we're selecting DeepSeek R1, which is the reasoning model on par with ChatGPT's O1, and it's completely free right now. And what's more exciting is that we're now running this model completely offline in our own computer. So here, just like ChatGPT and DeepSeek's website portal, so it does have a really convenient interface where you can send a message here, type your message here, and then get a response. And also, you can click here to upload your document for it to analyze. And also here, you have this speak button. AnythingLLM does have Whisper AI, the speech-to-text model integrated here. So if you click on this one, you can speak, and will capture the request. So it's super convenient. As a matter of fact, I really love this function when I'm using ChatGPTs. And so I have tried two different prompts. The first prompt I tried is a general question. I just asked, hi, how do I optimize my daily schedule? And it first generated the thinking process and of thought. And you see here, it's very interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to optimize my daily schedule. So it's like a soft brainstorming process. It's very interesting to see the thinking process. And I'm really impressed about how with a really generic prompt, the model can think of different areas to this problem and give specific suggestions. So then after the thinking process, you can see here are the answers it gives. So 12 points in total. I think it's pretty good. And next up, I tried a math problem. So this is a pretty classic one to test different LLMs, 9.9 and 9.11, which one is larger. Again, I first see the thinking process and it got the problem correct.
Now, let's also try the same problem with ChatGPT. Okay, straightforward. It says 9.11 is larger than 9.9. So in this minor match, DeepSeek R1 with the 7 billion distilled model wins.